Yeah, Lance just helped rearrange some things in here.
Well, awesome. Well, good evening, everyone. Guess what time of day it is? It is time for Women with Grit,
It's
where
that
we
time.
it is. And this week we have an amazing rising star, Sunny Bray, who we're so delighted and excited to bring up to you shortly. But before we do that, let's check in. How are you doing, Lee?
I am doing wonderful. I've been back to back to back.
Oh, today has been one of those days,
It's
huh?
been one of those days. A day, you know how you have these days where you look at your calendar and it looks like a blank canvas. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, so people insert themselves, and not necessarily negatively, but it's all of a sudden you're much busier than what you thought. So, but other than that, I mean, it's a beautiful day outside. I got a chance to go outside to take a look at a couple sites today, and it was just a beautiful day. I mean, so it was great to at least be able to get outside for a while today.
Yeah, I got a chance to get outside, which was exciting for me, but we're doing testing. So it was
Mm.
nice, like you said, to get out, leave the house, take the dog on a trail for a nice walk,
Okay,
and pop back in. So I'm ready.
there
I'm
you go.
excited.
All right.
Before you came in, I had my fight song on, Champion by Carrie Underwood.
Okay. Okay. All right. We might have to
Ready.
pick some of that
I'm
off.
ready.
If anybody out there needs a fight song, we can play it for a quick second if you need it. Just let us know.
Yes, yes. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Be sure to like, post, as well as share tonight's show. And then also let us know where you are joining in from. Let us know, drop a link in the chat function to let us know where you are chiming in from. So Lee, who do we have to thank tonight?
We're going to thank Terrell Perry at Molet Investment Services. Terrell at Molet Investment Services. So Terrell at Molet Investment Services. Terrell is on deck and ready to help you get your financial house in order. Building wealth is more than a word. There are actually a lot of actions that have to take place in order for that to happen. And Terrell is there to help you. And also, he's there to help you do a life insurance review. A lot of people say, well, how much life insurance should I have? It depends. There's no one formula, no one size fits all for everyone. So give him a call and let him put some quotes together for you. Also give Lauren Overton at Molet Investment Services a ring or an email, and it's Lauren, Lauren, at Molet Investment Services. She can help you get quotes for your business, for health insurance, for dental insurance, or for your company's retirement plan. She's happy to help you with that. I also want to thank Leon Wright and MJC Insurance Group, MJCINS.com, MJCINS.com. Go to their website and reach out to them. Let them give you a quote for your all of your insurance needs. It could be for renters, if you need renters coverage, if you need insurance on a rental or income type property, investment property, personal home, your boat, your motor home, your Sea-Doo, whatever you have, MJC can get you covered. So give them a shout. And they represent a number of major companies that you see advertising on TV. But since they're not our sponsors, we're not mentioning them today. So they're out there. If you want to be a sponsor, then we can mention your company.
That's
Or
right.
Women with Grit. And
Get
of
in while you
course,
still can.
what do you say?
Say get in while you still can.
Get in while you can get it in. That's right. While you still can, and while it fits into your budget. So, and of course, we want to thank Sherelle Lands, Vision Strategy Management. They're here to help you execute, to make sure you execute your plan. Make sure you go to Sherelle's website, SherelleLands.com. Check out the books that she has to offer. Check out her classes that she has coming up. You can also go through her library and find a class or courses that will be beneficial to you. It's all about self-improvement and also all about implementing your strategy. So give Sherelle a call, shoot her a message during the stream today, or go to her website and connect that way. I'm excited about Sherelle's next book. We know it's coming, and so we're looking forward to it.
I'm excited about it too, Lee. No teasers just yet, but I am just super excited about it. I am just spending a lot of time in the libraries and just making sure that it's solid. So I'm excited about it.
Well, I'm sure it will be solid. So
Yes.
outside of the books that you have coming out, what are you reading?
What am I reading? So the most recent book that I actually just finished is called This Is Day One, which is a good read. If you're looking for a book to binge on, if you will, was recommended by a friend. This is Day One basically is the premise of treating every day as if it were the first day, whether it be first day on the job, first day within an organization, where you are at your best every single day, and taking every day as if it were the first day so that you can continue to progress. So it's a good one. It's a collection of stories, and it's good. It's worth the read. The one that I am reading, that I'm about to start reading, is actually called Sacred Marriage, I think. Nothing to do with business, just that's on the side of personal and just my own development and things that I'm interested in looking, aspirationally into the future. So I believe that you got to speak it and then walk in it, right?
There you go. There you go. Yep.
So that's the next one that I'm reading.
Yep. The people perish for lack of a vision. So
that's it. That's it right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's just so much going on. I had a chance to meet Master P last week.
Nice.
Make him say Say what?
Make him say
Yeah. So he was in town. His son's going to Tennessee State to play basketball. He turned down a number of scholarships to LSU, to some big universities, and decided to go to Tennessee State University because he felt he could make a difference by bringing his presence and his personality to TSU. Now, the interesting thing is, we're able to have Master P and his two sons actually came over to the house. They shot some baskets with Lance, and it was real cool. He's just a real cool, laid back guy.
Yeah.
I won't say necessarily laid back. He's pretty laid back though, but just like a regular dude.
Mm-hmm.
And
but a visionary.
Yeah, very visionary. Exactly, very visionary, and he believes in executing his vision. Right. One of the things he talked about is how of course he's had many failures, but nobody remembers the failures. It's the successes that make you popular, right? And so he's a real good guy. He's going to be an asset to the city of Nashville. The time that he's here visiting his son and going to the games and everything, he's got really, really good big plans, and he's got a vision to help TSU get back to his former glory days, but more importantly, that grow and do some amazing things. And of course, they just brought Eddie George in as the football coach. So TSU's got some wonderful things going on over there. And Dr. Glover and her team, I'm sure, are excited about what they have going on over there.
That's fantastic. And then just, with all that he has done and all that he does in the heart that he has, I think that to your point, that's going to be great for the city.
It is. It definitely is.
Yes.
He invests wherever his feet step. So
exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't want to steal any more of the thunder from our amazing guest, Sunny, who is backstage. But let me just go ahead and let you guys know who you are in store to meet. Sunny Bray Cartmill is the founder and CEO for Catalyst Collective, a consultancy equipping organizations with tools for better outcomes, greater impact, and revenue growth. She has been invoking positive change for more than 15 years, specializing in launching and growing businesses into new markets. Sunny started Catalyst Collective in 2018 with the goal of changing the world. Catalyst Collective is a catalyst for change in Middle Tennessee through the collaboration of funders, companies, community leaders, and nonprofits. Last year, Sunny was named to the All-Star Board by Nashville Post Magazine. The Nashville Business Journal recently named her as the 2021 40 Under 40 winner. She became a mother for the first time and continued her contributions to the community. She serves as the Director of Marketing for the Women in Technology of Tennessee, an advisory board member for the Women's Fund, and a member of Brain Trust, The Table, and the Rotary Club of Nashville. Amazing, amazing woman. Let's go ahead and bring our Rising Star Sunny Bray. Hi, Sunny.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Hey, great. How are you? Fellow Rotarian and fellow table member.
I'm doing well. I'm really, really excited to be here tonight.
Yes, we're happy to have you.
Yes, very much so. So let's jump into it. I mean, just an amazing, woman. And again, commend you on all of your accolades and continued success. Tell us a little bit about you and tell us about your unique story of grit.
Sure. Let's see here, where do we start? I moved to Nashville about 5 years ago. I lived in Indianapolis for about 11 years. Prior to that, I actually grew up in Illinois, Aurora, Illinois, and before that was born in South Korea. But I have been in Nashville now for about 5 years, and I love it. I always say that it is a city that is very kind and friendly, but could use some more diversity.
Yes. Awesome. Go ahead.
Oh, Lee, were you going to say something? No.
So you were saying that you can use a little bit of diversity. Elaborate. That was one of the things I think that came to mind because you mentioned that you were born in South Korea. Mm-hmm. How has it been, I guess, adjusting and adapting in Nashville to your point where there is a lack of diversity or a need for it?
Well, I'll admit, when I first moved to Nashville, I was a little nervous. I didn't know how I would be perceived. My background is in corporate sales, tech sales, where I've always pretty much been the only woman in the room in a male-dominated industry. And moving to Nashville, I was a little intimidated at first, but really all you can do is just push forward and be confident and show everyone what you're capable of, and that you're here to make things happen.
So tell us about, since you went into corporate sales, and sales, to your point, is one of those fields where you have to be confident, you have to be comfortable actually pushing through, especially in a male-dominated space. How has that been for you, considering the fact that you've been doing it for so long and been so successful?
So sales was never really something that I thought I was going to get into. I feel like I just kind of fell into it. Prior to getting into my professional career, I just built relationships. And I think really that's what it comes down to when it comes to sales. If you approach it from a mindset of just meeting people, building those authentic relationships, and knowing that you're helping people, that you're bringing value, then it feels like sales.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you have a community that you've started around fostering and building relationships. It's one of the things that, especially, I think some entrepreneurs struggle with, is the nature of building those relationships that are needed to supporting their organizations. So definitely appreciate you for doing that.
Yeah, I think honestly, a lot of it is just how you show up. It's how are people experiencing you? And if you're out there being your authentic self and really just wanting to form genuine relationships and connections with people, the good stuff comes. And if you're paying it forward and you have this servant mentality, people want to be around you. And if you're doing good for others, it's going to come back to you tenfold. I feel like I've had Nashville, we know it is that city where it is, what do they say, death by 1,000 coffees. Could easily, everyone will meet with you, which is wonderful. But not everyone are you going to fully connect to and have deep relationships. And you have to work at those. I just don't love meeting with people where I can feel it. I feel like there's an agenda. I think you get to know people, you build relationships, and if it works, it works. And then you're going to end up doing work together.
Nice.
Yeah. So how's your sales background? How's that helped you in business?
Probably the
Or has it helped you? I'm assuming it's helped you.
Yes. Probably the competitive nature of it. You want to be the best, you want to do your best, and you just want to produce. So
Yeah.
I think with sales, you're naturally competitive.
Right.
And so yeah, I mean, it requires a lot. You have to be able to build relationships. You're competitive, you're driven, you're ambitious. I think those are all skill sets that are really important in sales.
So I asked that question because so many people run from sales, and my background is sales too. I did door to door when I was in college, and even some after college.
Built that tough skin, didn't you?
Yeah. But so many people run from sales, and I found that if nothing else, the training that you get, even if you're not successful at it, the training that I got from it helped me when I went into business for myself, or anything that I've tried to do. Even if I've just been someone's asked me to speak publicly, I've always had confidence because I did so much of it while I was selling. So that's why I asked the question.
No, I think you're right. It does help you build that tough skin. It helps you build that confidence. Really, to just be able to spark up a conversation with anyone and build that relationship. It's important, even if you're not in sales.
Right. Yeah. And it also, I think, taught me that I didn't have to sell everybody, or everybody didn't have to agree with me. And in sales, more people will tell you no than tell you yes. But successful salespeople, they kind of go through that. I mean, it's all good because you really don't need everybody you only need 2 or 3 people, to buy from you. And that's same thing in business, right?
Yes. I always say you never know if you don't ask.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Right. And I would always say, like, sometimes you're only looking for the one right yes.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all you need is one, and then one makes you want to go to the next one. So. Yeah, but I agree about the competitive nature that it fosters, because it's a lot of times, especially if it's a group of salespeople in the same company. I mean, you can motivate people. And it doesn't have to be a big expensive gift. It could be, a $5 coupon, or it could just be you get to walk around with the medal for the day, saying you were the best. I find that salespeople are quirky that way. It doesn't take much. They don't know they were number one.
I feel like I have a personal competitive nature. I don't necessarily need other people around me. In certain cases, I do, obviously. So I love to exercise. I love to work out in a group setting. So that helps me. I'll push myself more, but I'll still work out on my own and have the self-discipline to do so. But there's something about being with other people that drives you a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what was the impetus in you starting your company?
Sherelle and I were actually talking about this recently. I shared a little bit of my personal story about Catalyst Collective, and I think I've shared with you, Lee, previously. There's a couple of reasons why I started Catalyst, but first and foremost, I do want to say it was because of my faith. My faith is what called me to start Catalyst. It was just one of those things where I felt that certain doors were being shut and certain doors were also being opened. It was just, the signs were all there, and it was just something I couldn't deny any further. And I just had to get over myself and do it and launch the business. I was never someone that considered myself an entrepreneur or a founder, business owner. Honestly, I wasn't thrilled about leading other people. I didn't consider myself a leader for the longest time. But I think as I've grown and I've built that confidence, I realized that I am a leader and that I have a lot to give to this world. But so once I kind of got over all of the negative self-talk, so it was not only my faith that drew me to do that, but it was really just seeing an opportunity to do more in the community. I saw that there were certain things that could have been done better, and I saw an opportunity to do that. And I wanted to be able to leverage my skill set and my relationships and my resources to be able to help those nonprofits. And I feel that in order to be able to help the nonprofits and empower those leaders, then ultimately we will change the national community, and then from there change the world. But there were a couple of other personal stories that kind of led me to do that. And I think, some of the best businesses are built from realizing that things can be done better or faster or cheaper. I had a pretty terrible experience with my former employer, and actually experienced gender discrimination.
Okay.
So that was kind of another driver for me. And, we talked about the competitive nature of, being a team setting. Another driver for me is when someone says I can't do something.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to prove them wrong.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. That's always, you hear athletes talk about how they play with the chip on their shoulder because they didn't go in the first round. They thought they should have, but they're out there proving every day that they should have gone in the first round. I know Sherelle talked about in the intro about your company, but how would you describe your company?
I would describe my company as a collaborative company, focused on helping the small guys, the small nonprofits, the gig community. I think that the pandemic mostly, but Nashville has also suffered quite a few other tragic events in the last couple years, the tornado, everything. And so it is helping. We're targeting the small nonprofits, the mid-sized nonprofits, and the gig economy, the individuals that are the freelancers, the consultants, the ones that are really doing good work and can do good work and want to do good work. And we're helping to kind of broker the projects between the nonprofits and those individuals. So again, my selling skills coming into play and in finding the opportunities for these individuals who might not necessarily have the business development or sales skills.
Sunny, I really love that. And as you're speaking, the word that comes to mind for me is grounded. You're definitely grounded and connected. And Dr. Wayne Dyer talks about, the morning of life and the afternoon of life. He's a psychologist. And in the afternoon of life, it's about significance. And you have built a business around walking in this place of significance. Where, as you think through your life and your journey, where has that desire, where did it come from?
Oh gosh. I feel like it's been a long time coming. It's a lot of self-reflection. It's a lot of deep soul searching and prayer and meditation and journaling I feel like we're all kind of searching for something. We're all searching for some sort of self-fulfillment. What's our calling? And I think the quicker we can get there, it's always, well, if I can do this, then I'll be happy. Or if I can get here, then I'll be happy. I think for me personally, and this was another reason that I didn't mention as to why I started Catalyst Collective and also a part of my faith journey. I lost a close friend of mine about 7 years ago to melanoma. He was 27 years old and he was amazing. And I just looked at the impact that he was able to have on this world in such a short amount of time. And it shifted something in me to where I wanted that same thing. I wanted to leave this world a better place. I wanted to be able to have that impact on so many.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yep. So now that you've gotten this company up and running, tell us, what's the difference pre-COVID and post-COVID? What pivots did you have to make? Give us an idea. I'll hit that in a little bit. But from a business perspective, what pivots did you make?
Oh gosh. Let's see. I am I'm a face-to-face person. So I love meeting with people. I ran a networking organization. I love building relationships and just really getting to know people and who they are and why they do the things that they do and why do you work for your company? Why did you start your company? because your job, your career is so much of who you are and what you do. It takes a big chunk of your life, and you should love it. I just let's see. I tapped into my resources. I tapped into my network. I tapped into my relationships. You guys know Perry Dugard Owens.
Oh yeah, very well.
A friend of mine, as well as a mentor, an advisor. She's in my vault. We're in Brain Trust together.
Okay.
But her and Janet Meek, Jessica Walker, Becky Sharp, and Stacy Lanier. Sorry, I had to give a shout out to these.
That's all right. Give them a shout. We've had Carrie and Becky on the show, so it's not like we have some other ones that we need to have.
But they have been my tribe. We chatted, and Sherelle knows this because she's in Brain Trust as well. But our vault meetings are to be once a month, 3 hours a month. Well, we meet once a week. And we just talk about everything. And they were there for me through the pandemic. I was pregnant through the pandemic too. Right. So professionally, personally, those are ways that I've pivoted. Because I think through the pandemic, it was really easy for people to go into their little hole and just isolate. And even I will admit, I personally took the pandemic. I had to shift my mindset too, because initially, I was coming from a scarcity mindset where I thought, "Oh my gosh, look at what's going on! Everyone's in this horrible financial state. They're nervous. These nonprofits aren't going to be able to pay for services. How can I approach these nonprofits to pay for services when, they're hurting right now?" And then I had to quickly shift and say, no, this is the perfect time to help these nonprofits. They need us more now than ever. So I doubled down on my relationships with people and trying to think of more creative and strategic ways that I could continue to help the community. So I joined the Rotary. I joined the table. And through the table, Lee, you probably know this, I had a direct connection to Beth Chase.
Right. Exactly.
And those who are in Nashville know exactly who she is and what she's been able to do for the community. And gosh, I'm so grateful. Yeah. I don't know if it weren't for the table, would I have that relationship? Her and I met for lunch. Immediate connection. And with mentors, it's so hard to find a good mentor, and that relationship has to happen organically. And she's fantastic. She's already done so much more for me than I think she'll ever know.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. And the cool thing is, of course, with the table, plug time. And Sherelle's one of our inaugural members and sponsors, Vision Strategy Management. But it's, what you're talking about is exactly what the table is all about. Because you have these rock star business legends like Beth and so many others that are part of the table that want to give back and want to find young business owners, young entrepreneurs, young corporate folks, people that are trying to move up and they want to help, but they need help connecting with them. And so that's what the table has been able to do. Is to do that, and they're looking for people of color to help. A lot of them, when you talk to them, of course, how some of our conversations are with the table. They're very deep, and I mean, just very much like Expand, where I met you. The conversations are deep and they're personal, and it's about race, and you just find out that so many people, we may see each other, but our paths really haven't crossed.
Right.
And it takes those paths crossing to really get to know each other, and then you have to be intentional about taking those relationships further, which is what what the table has done. I've known Beth for a while. She's always been who she is, but when we talked to her about the table, she's like, "Hey, I'm all in. I got to do this," and then she's excited about working with you as well. So that's great. What well, you mentioned you were pregnant through the pandemic, so you have.
I was pregnant before the pandemic.
Yeah, you got pregnant before the pandemic, yes. But you delivered during the pandemic.
Yes.
But I mean, so how's that changed your life? How have you juggled that? A lot of our listeners, a lot of our folks have, they're in different states. I mean, we call Rising Star. You're relatively new on the scene, but you're, not just so much promise, but you've already accomplished so much, and so now you have this, new bundle of joy, and you're still moving forward. So tell us about that. How's that changed your life and your business, and how are you
Sure.
all, you and your husband, juggling it?
Thank you so much for those compliments, by the way. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It is really hard. It's tough, and I only have one.
Right.
But it's doable. It's totally possible. Women can have businesses, thriving businesses, and a family. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a working mom. I think that I am raising my baby to see a woman that has drive and ambition, and I'm going to teach her that she can break any glass ceiling there is. But it takes an army. It really does. If it wasn't if it wasn't for my amazing husband, I mean, we are partners in this. And if it wasn't for my family, my mother-in-law comes over a couple of times a week to help with her. It wouldn't be possible. It really wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you talked about having that drive, because that's one of the things I was going to ask you is really when you think about what has enabled your ability to be successful in that, it has been, to your point, not only your grit, but it's been the support of family and friends. Mm-hmm. If you were to think about the moments when when you felt maybe perhaps that you were on an uphill climb, or you felt stuck, or you faced some type of self-limiting belief, what would you say that was, and how did you overcome it?
Probably recently. And I don't know if a lot of people do this, or if it's just me, or if it's women in general, but it is that negative self-talk that I have to shift out of a lot of times. I'll use an example. The 40 Under 40 award that I received. I have wanted that award for a very long time. And I'm not really sure why. I think I wanted it for maybe what it means. Maybe it was going to help me grow my business. It was going to the exposure, the visibility. I don't know. But I wanted it as soon as I found out about it in Indianapolis. And then I moved to Nashville, and I was nominated, I think, twice. And this year I got it. But before I got it, I had to fill out the application. And I got in front of my computer to fill out the application, and I was just completely stumped. And I reached out to my vault, and I said, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm experiencing. And each and every one of them were like, they were my hype women. They were just literally like down the list of like, this is what you've done. This is what you've accomplished. Right. And why don't you deserve this? And so I tapped into my resources, tapped into my relationships, and to the people that see things in me that I don't always see in myself.
Mm-hmm. And that speaks to the importance of who you keep around you, and the ability of them to encourage you, like you said, because what they did was just make you aware of the things that you already know, the greatness that was already within you. It was just reminding you of it. So thank you for that.
Yeah, because I think we all have to get to this point of recognizing that we have had some successes, and we have had people that we've helped, and we have accomplished some things in our lives. Otherwise, why are we on this earth if we're not accomplishing anything?
Right.
God has used us all in so many different ways, and a lot of times when it comes time to putting that information on paper, if you will, and you're talking about yourself, and we're taught to be humble, and we're taught not to brag.
Right.
We're taught all these things that we shouldn't do. we shouldn't be boastful or anything like that. But one of the things that I remember very candidly, very very vividly when I was younger, in corporate America when I was working for my first company, and they just said, "Hey, Lee, it's not bragging when you've done it. I mean, you did it. You're not bragging. It's just fact. These are all facts."
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to, kind of look back and say, I'm a pretty, I'm a bad Sunny Bray. I'm killing it. I'm doing well. It's that self-talk. We have
I
to
agree.
you have to speak positivity into your life. And people just, a lot of, she's here, here comes Lee again. He's just bragging. No. You didn't see when Sunny was up, late at night, writing a proposal out while she was, feeding her baby and, thinking about what dinner was going to be like. You didn't see what Sherelle was doing.
Right.
The tears she may have cried if she didn't get a deal, but she knew she had to get ready for the next deal. I mean, those are things that people don't see. It's
right.
People didn't just drop out of the sky where they are. They put the work in. And so
entrepreneurship is tough, and I don't think people realize it is hard.
It is, and I think that so entrepreneurship is tough, and working corporate is tough, and if you've been successful at your company and people, think about it. If you're not successful and you work for a company, they're gonna fire you.
Yeah.
So if you look around 10 years later and you're still there, you're doing something right. I
will say though that a lot of it is my own personal drive and grit and determination, but it is also through the help and support of so many people, relationships, connections, open doors, introductions that were facilitated, my family, my friends. And so it's definitely attributed to, it comes down to relationships, like I always say, and you just have to know who you're going to meet and how you're going to affect people and the impact that you're going to have. But then also, I think for me personally, it's just to have that confidence and be reminded of the things that I have accomplished, but then redirecting it back to making sure that I do give glory to God.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. And the key is people won't make those introductions if they don't think you're ready.
Right.
So even like with the table, we wouldn't make that introduction to Beth if we didn't think you were ready. Period. Because it damages what we're trying to do.
Right.
But we would have had a very frank and candid conversation and say, hey, let's work on these things and let's kind of tweak you and get you ready for Beth or get you ready for whoever it is. So but it's not just a table, but that's all around. I mean, when people are referring you, it's based on your body of work and the potential they see in you. And so that validates you.
Yeah. And sometimes we keep our head down. So it's harder for us to kind of look up and see a lens of the things that are going on around us. And we have to remember to stop and just appreciate the moment and recognize that great things are happening every single moment. We just have to glean to it. Great discussion. So we're past our halfway mark, but Sunny, we want to conversation among friends. Yes. So we're going to give you a minute to grab something to drink, and then we'll thank our sponsors and bring you back up for the second half. Okay.
And what I want you to think about on your break is what's been, good, bad, or indifferent. What habit did you form through COVID? So you think about that. we'll come back.
Man, what a great conversation.
It is.
Discussion. So I want to go ahead and show again our clip because I've been getting the question of how did we get to this point. So I want to share that clip again that we had. I'll put that up here, but you want to thank our sponsors for before I tee it up?
While Sherelle is teeing it up, and she may cut me off with the tee up, but we want to thank Terrell Perry at Mollett Investment Services. We want to thank Leon Wright with MJC Insurance Group, and we want to thank Sherelle Lands with Vision Strategy Management. You can go to each of their websites to get more information, SherelleLands.com, MJCINS.com for MJC Insurance, and www.molette, MOLETTE, investmentservices.com, and reach out to Mr. Perry.
All right.
And you can also go to the tableaction.com to find out more about the table. We have our second membership meeting tomorrow, so I'm excited about that.
Awesome.
It's the tableaction.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1:00.
Awesome. Got it. I got it. Okay. Let me tee this up really quickly so you all get an opportunity to see this. Oh.
Hey, and thank you so much for joining us today. Listen, we're just so excited. We wanted to take some time to just share with you a little bit about Women with Grit. What is the story behind it? How did we get started with it? You know, I've got partner in crime here, Lee Millette.
Hey, what's going on?
And I'm Sherelle Lands, and we're just so excited about this concept called Women with Grit, where we interview just exceptional women within the community and around the world who are doing phenomenal things. So how do we get started with this concept, Lee?
Well, I think ultimately it was a reaction to COVID. We were literally working on a different concept that involved women and really helping women have opportunities to progress in their careers, and we're really putting something together to do that. We had all these people lined up to interview and get information from, and COVID happened.
That changed life for everyone.
It did, and so for us, we were talking one day, and so we were talking about what we're doing, and I said, I'm thinking about doing this podcast, I'm thinking about doing this, and he said, okay, let's do it. And so Women with Grit.
There it is. Big on execution, yes. Make it happen.
Yes, so it's been exciting.
Yes, it has. We've had just phenomenal guests even over the last year, and looking forward to all that's coming ahead. So how can they reach us?
They can reach us on YouTube, Exceptional Women with Grit. Subscribe to our page. You can check out our Facebook page for Women with Grit, or you go to our website, womenwithgrit.com. And the best way to catch us is Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central Time, when Sherelle and I are live with our guests. And literally, I think the most exciting thing for me is when we talked about we wanted to have a program that addressed that brought in women from around the world. So that's our globe here. We literally interview people in Bogota, Colombia, and over in London, and all over the United States as well. So that's been exciting. That's one of the benefits of COVID. Everybody's now used to this virtual world, and nobody feels like they have to fly in to be live in the studio.
So hopefully you will join us live or catch the replay, right?
Replays, that's right. We have a bunch of replays, and I mean, if I were you, I would binge listen. People binge watch on Netflix, binge listen and watch Women with Grit. There have been some phenomenal interviews and some phenomenal tips that will help anyone. We have men and women that watch, and I think the tips that you get, the things that you learn from these women that are guests will help anyone advance their careers, advance their lives, just really live a full life and a happy life. And I think that's exciting.
Yes, I would agree 100%. So if you're interested, definitely join us, follow us, engage with us, like us, share it, all of those things. If you know a phenomenal woman or a woman with grit that you would recommend being on the show, be sure that you write us on any one of those forums, and a member of our team will get back to you.
Yeah. And don't forget, if you have a product or service, a company that you want to promote or a cause, give us a shout. We're happy to do that. There's a cost, but it's not much. Not yet. So you better get in while it's cheap.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you. And so far, we'll see you online.
Talk to you later. Peace.
Bye.
All right. So there it is. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and bring back up Sunny so we can continue the conversation and learn more about the habits that she has been forming coming out of COVID.
Let's see here. So I'm a creature of habit. I would say I'm pretty disciplined with my daily morning ritual. I think also being a new mom, I actually get up earlier than I did before because I want to make sure that I'm up and I have my own alone time before she wakes up. And because once the day starts, it doesn't stop. So,
Honey, I've been a part of the morning mom crew for over 10 years, 4 a.m.
I love it. So, but I'm also in bed shortly after I put her to bed. I wake up around 4:30 or 5 in the morning. I do my daily meditation, prayer, and I usually exercise in the morning as well. And then coffee and go right into it after that. Start my day with her. But I would say through the pandemic, specifically the lockdown, I was pregnant then, so I used that time to read. I actually educated myself a lot. I didn't get into the whole Netflix series.
Okay, no binge.
I read. I actually, because I do Audible, but I physically read books. I read about 7 in
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's phenomenal. Yep. I didn't get 7 books in.
I don't do much reading now because as soon as I hit the pillow, I'm out now. But yes.
Okay. Well, good. So, and of course, now the books that you're reading are changing to ABCs and nursery rhymes.
Yes, those are the books that I'm reading now.
Good. So I remember when we met at the Expand event, and then we got a chance to get together afterwards. You know, you were in earlier stages of your business and life and career and everything. I don't even think you had gotten married yet. Maybe you had just gotten married. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think I may have just gotten married.
Just got married. Okay. So now, you're where you are now. You think in terms 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Where is Sunny? What's Sunny doing?
Sunny still is grinding and trying to impact this world. Sunny has maybe a couple more kiddos, and her company is thriving and transforming the Nashville community. And I'm hoping to make the world a better place.
Okay. All right. Good. Now, are you as you look at your future and everything, you know, what's your place going to be in the Nashville business community? Where do you see yourself?
I'm hoping to be a recognized industry leader, community leader, like my mentor, Beth Chase, like Sherry Deutschman. It's crazy to think, because I was actually telling my husband this recently. I said, when I moved to Nashville, these were the names that I had heard all the time. And I thought, I want to be like these women. They're just well recognized for all that they've done in this community. And now I know them.
Right. Yeah.
Now they're my friends.
And they both built businesses and sold them, you know, with good exits, and now they're both helping out. Now, what's your daughter saying about her mom?
Yeah.
She's proud of me. She's basically saying, you know what, my mom is badass, and and she takes care of me. She loves me. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's good. Okay, I can see all that happening. I can see it all happening.
Very much.
So, what do you like to do for fun? You know, you take the day off. What's
well, I like to travel. I don't know if you know this right now, but I'm actually on vacation in Florida. My husband and our baby. It's our first flight with the baby.
Okay. Get them started early. Get them started early. That's what we believe in that.
Well. She passed with flying colors. slept on the flight. She's been doing really well while we've been here. But I would say travel. Travel. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I love to run obstacle course races.
Oh, breaking news.
Love that.
Breaking news.
I remember that, Sunny.
I
Or
love
do you
to
do
run
like
obstacle courses.
the ninja courses, or what type of obstacle courses are you?
Okay, so I work out religiously. It's my exercise. It's my mental health, and so I do that. And then these mud races, they're obstacle races. They're so fun. They're physically, mentally challenging. And so I've done like 3 Spartans, mudathlons, like all of them. I've run 11 actually.
Oh wow. Okay.
I love that.
Again, it's a competitive nature in me. At the end of the race, you get a medal, and I want all the medals.
All the medals. Okay. Yeah, that's phenomenal.
All the medals. You get addicted to them. You really do get addicted to the medals.
Yeah.
So, Sunny, question for you.
Pardon?
Yes. So when you think about the moments where you felt overwhelmed, how did you cope, or how did you overcome those moments? That's coming from a member.
Okay.
One of our.
Honestly, I have to admit I'm not the best at overcoming overwhelm and stress. That's still something that I'm struggling with, and I'm working towards. My husband was actually really great before. So I was nervous for this video call tonight, this interview, and he just grabbed me and he said, "You're going to do great. Breathe." And sometimes it really just comes down to taking that deep breath, and it does help. Other than that, I think it is, kind of talking yourself up and reminding yourself of what you have, like you said, Lee, what you have accomplished, what you have already done, and just having that reminder of the list of things of what you've done. And then again, coming back to faith, and just having a quick moment or conversation with the Lord of, help me have the strength to overcome this.
Love that. I love that. So Alicia Gibbs has a question, and she said, "What were your qualifications for finding a good mentor for yourself?"
So first, it had to just be a good connection. I'm a big proponent of just trusting your gut. I think that's always the first test that I think a lot of people discount, is just, how do you feel about it? Like, you know yourself better than anybody else. You know what you want and what you need, and what's really going to help you move forward in your life, professionally and personally. So it was going to come down to just that connection, that relationship. Did it feel good? Was it organic? And Beth and I met for lunch, and it was just immediate. So it's that, and it's someone who I think will also not tell you what you want to hear, and to really push you, guide you. But then for me, Beth had already accomplished what I'm seeking to do. So I think that's really important, is to find someone that's already done what you want to do. And her business was similar, so it just made sense.
Awesome. Okay, I want to make sure that we give an opportunity for our audience to ask any questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. We are winding up and wrapping up this amazing interview with our Rising Star Sunny. And while our guests do that, can you let us know how they can engage with you a little bit further? But before we do that, what are your gems or your nuggets that you would like to leave, whether it be for ladies or for men, as it relates to being successful?
Surround yourself with the right people. I cannot stress that enough. if someone is sucking the energy out of you, if you feel drained, I mean, I know we all go through different phases in our lives, but if you've got people that just, it doesn't feel right, or you're not getting value, sometimes you just got to let them go. So relationships, really have that servant mentality, really pay it forward. Give back to others. I can't tell you how many CEOs met with me when I was 22 and took the time to meet with me, just to have a conversation of how did they get to where they are. So give it back, pay it forward, have that servant mentality. Never sacrifice your integrity. If you're with leaders, if people that don't have high integrity, get out, remove yourself from that situation. What did I say before? Trust your gut.
Yep. Very, very important to trust your gut. It's very important.
Love that.
Gut comes into play a lot. And we have a question.
So tell us a little bit about how they. Go ahead. I think there might be a little bit of a delay.
No.
So Tara has a question. He says, as an entrepreneur, what has been your greatest learning moment?
To just do it, man. To just do it, to just go for it, to not doubt yourself, to have that confidence. I mean, really, you've got nothing to lose. You as an entrepreneur, you have to realize how much you want it. And if you're willing to do everything you need to have it, because you are everyone. You get to be the finance person, the operations, the CEO.
Sure.
And if you don't know, then you have to figure it out, or you tap into your resources of people that do, and you outsource. But that's probably my biggest. I think people think entrepreneurship is so flashy and great, and you are your own boss, and you get to make your own schedule. But there, like you said, Cheryl, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes too.
Yeah. The late nights, the early morning, the fits in between. Yes, all of that is a part of it. It comes with being able to set your own schedule. Absolutely.
Right. Setting your own schedule, sounds good and sounds pretty autonomous, but you set your schedule around the time that your clients can meet with you or can shop with you or do business with you.
Very true.
You kind of learn their patterns. You try to guide them to a certain time, but this morning I had to meet somebody at 7:00 this morning. It's not my jam, but I was there.
Right. We make it happen. Like Sunny said, we just do it. We just do it.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks, Terrell. And Terrell's one of our sponsors. So Terrell Perry is great question. And he's been an entrepreneur for a while, but now he's got the whole shop. Terrell has taken over Molette Investment Services. And,
oh, wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I've taken over a little extra time sleeping.
I will say to Cheryl's question, though, yes, just do it, but also it's a fine balance of just do it and trust your gut. That if it's really something you don't want to do, think about why you don't want to do it, and also remember that this is a little saying that I've been saying for the last year. Use your no's to protect your yeses.
Love that.
No is
wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Sunny, can you share with our audience how they can engage with you and what's next for you?
Sure. They can follow me on all the platforms. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm not very active on Twitter, but I'm on all the social media platforms. They can also reach me at Sunny, SUNNY, at catalystcollective.co.
One more time.
Sunny at catalystcollective.co. CO.
So make sure you don't put that M on there. We're always putting the M on.
That's right. Wow. Okay. Well, I want to give a quick recap of just some of the key nuggets that you have left for us, Sunny, this has just been an amazing conversation. And again, major congratulations on all that you're doing with your business within the community and just remaining grounded, but just your level of depth to cultivate relationships and help other people continue to excel. So some of her key nuggets, if you guys were listening in, this is the Cliff Notes, but you still want to go back and catch the replay as well. Make sure that you have a supportive tribe. So regardless of what season of life you may find yourself in, surrounding yourself with the right people is so important and critical as it relates to your success and just being able to continue to push forward. Remain grounded and connected. Center yourself around a larger cause and make sure that you have opportunities to give back to the community, whether it's giving back or paying it forward as well. Use your time to help cultivate the life of someone else. Trust your gut. Have a connection with your mentor. When it comes to identifying the right fit, make sure that you know exactly what you need from that mentor and be confident with being able to build that right relationship. Find someone that can push you and help you see even your blind spots. Surround yourself with the right people. Continue to maintain a servant mentality. Give back along the way. Be confident and never sacrifice your integrity. If it doesn't feel right, then it's likely not a good fit. Just do it. And lastly, but one of the most important things I think that you said, Sunny, which was use your no's to protect your yes. Those no's are indications of things that are not aligned with your flow or where you have to go in life. And so recognize that what you are saying yes to means that you're saying no to someone else. So just as she said, be sure to use your no's to protect your yes. Wow, Sunny, thank you so much. Just in terms of the depth of what it means to build an effective and meaningful relationship, we are just so excited to have you on the stage with us. So thank you.
Thank you. This was amazing. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm honored.
Well, thank you. And you did get a quick shout out from Alicia Gibbs, who had asked one of the questions. She said, great nuggets. And she's in the Atlanta area. Great nuggets. Thank you. So glad I joined tonight. Truly needed this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Terrell Perry said, cool conversation. Sharonda Scott, another one of our regular listeners, she took that, use your nose to protect your yeses. So I love it.
That's right.
I knew I heard it, and then I could give credit too, but I love it. I stole
right
it.
Right now, we all heard it from you, so we'll be quoting.
That's right. And thank you for, you're on your vacation, and yet you have taken time out of your vacation away from your family to grace the stage on Women with Grit. So we're just so thankful, and we're grateful to have you.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Awesome.
Thank you, Sunny, and look forward to enjoy the rest of your vacation. We will see you soon.
Sounds good. Have a great evening.
All right, you too. Thank you.
You too. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you again next week with another amazing woman where we will interview on Women with Grit. So again, like, share, and we'll see you there. Have a good night.
All right. Take care. Peace. Have an amazing week.
Bye.